You walk over to the North Pillar, it's got all these swirling things going on and all of that stuff.
I peer
suddenly
deeper
they begin
into-
to coalesce into Gizmia's Wheel! Yes! Red or black, sir? Do your worst.
Black.
Black it is. It is red!
What is this?
Welcome to the great Gooey Dungeon Game Show!
This game show has it all. A massive miniature dungeon, terrifying monsters, and loads of loot. Loot that you can take home. We have thousands of dollars in TTRPG prizes, and we want to give it all away on the show. If you join us in person or online, you'll have several opportunities to take home your share of these prizes. It's like a classic dungeon crawl, but with a twist. Here's the TLDR version of how to play and participate. You'll be on one of 4 teams. There will be an epic dungeon with several rooms, lots of loot, and lots of monsters. Vote when you are prompted, but otherwise sit back and just go with the flow. You'll pick up the rules as we go along and hopefully win some prizes along the way. And here's the extended version of how to play and participate for you players who like to know all the rules before playing a game. Bear with me for a few minutes. It's a dungeon game show based on tabletop RPGs. You know how this goes. There will be 4 seats at the table, each representing the 4 brave adventurers going into the dungeon. The in-person audience will be split into 3 teams, each backing an adventurer. The 4th team will be made up of Team Twitch. The physical seats at the table will be filled up by willing volunteers from each team and special representatives from Team Twitch. They are the emissaries to do their team's bidding. Each team will also have a team captain to ensure the voice of the team is heard. Quick recap. We have 4 adventurers, a team backing each adventurer, an on-stage player picked from said teams, and a team captain to communicate the team's wishes to the player. Now that we have the people straight, let's talk about the dungeon. Alphinius will set the stage and our adventurers will plunge themselves into the foul depths of one of the many horrifying dungeons across the world of Zyathe. When our adventurers enter a new room of the dungeon, there will be 4 options of actions the teams can take. These things will be like, search behind the magic mushrooms, or check out the road sign that looks suspiciously like a mimic. The on-stage players will roll for the first to act, and that will determine which team gets their choice of action first. All 4 actions must be taken, so the team with the lowest roll will get the last option available, no matter the votes. Voting in person will be done via paddle voting. Voting online will happen via the Twitch chat. You must be registered on Twitch and subscribe to Gooey Cube's channel to participate. You can find us on twitch.tv/thegooeycube. Each action triggers one of 4 reactions. You can discover the loot, you can spin Gizmia's wheel, you can get the zonk, or you can uncover a monster. You won't know what each of the actions do when Alphinius lists them off, so not all will be lost if your team has the lowest roll. You may still end up with a healthy pot of gold. Now let's break down what all of those reactions entail, starting with the good stuff, the loot. When your team is the one who discovers the loot, this triggers a few fun things. First off, a drawing will happen and someone on your team is going to win one of our fabulous prizes. On top of that, Alphinius will roll for how much gold is found in the treasure, and that will be added to your team's total haul. And lastly, you'll be gifted either a special item or a Gooey reward card. So yeah, you want your team to get the loot. Gizmia's wheel. Let's just pray Gizmia favors you as the wheel is spun. Gizmia's wheel is all about luck. Land on one of the Gooey Cube slots and you win 5 dungeon points. We'll explain what dungeon points are in a minute, but just know they are very important to your overall success. Before the wheel is spun, the on-stage player can choose whether or not they would like to spend 10 of their team's gold to gamble on the spin. Then they guess whether the wheel will land on the black or the red slot. If the guess is correct, the team gains a dungeon point and the consequence it lands on is irrelevant. If the guess is wrong, they accept the consequence on the wheel, which can be losing dungeon points, hit points, or gold. Right or wrong or green, the 10 gold spent on the gamble is gone. The player can also choose not to gamble and take their chances just spinning the wheel. But what fun is that? Plus you are so likely to lose. The zonk. This involves a roll-off with Alphinius Goo. If you lose the roll-off, Alphinius will deduct a dungeon point from your total. If you manage to win the roll-off, Alphinius grants you the opportunity to steal 20 gold from one of your fellow adventurers or make one of their dungeon points disappear. Either way, someone is getting zonked. The monster. This is fairly straightforward. If you release the monster, you are instantly attacked. Sorry, them's the breaks. Then the rest of the adventurers will finish their turns in the room. Once all 4 actions have been completed, we will have a round of combat. Initiative will be rolled to determine who strikes first. Whichever adventurer manages to strike the killing blow on the monster will receive a dungeon point. If our adventurers are unable to take out the monster in a single round of combat, they will leave the room filled with shame and regret. However, a room MVP will be announced whether the monster is defeated or not. The room MVP is at Alphinius Goo's discretion and can be based on anything, like an onstage player's role-playing or awesome actions taken in combat. The room MVP will walk away with 2 dungeon points added to their total. And we are finally to the point in the video where I will explain what dungeon points are. Dungeon points are what will ultimately decide which team is the winner of this game show. As you saw earlier, dungeon points can be earned or lost based on the various scenarios mentioned before. At the end of the dungeon crawl, dungeon points will also be awarded based on your remaining pot of gold and the percentage of your health left. Every team will start with 100 golds, with plenty of opportunities to accumulate more along the way. However, the opportunity to purchase varying power-ups for your player will present itself during each room of the dungeon. Your team can purchase healing potions, auto-crits, Gooey reward cards, and other class-specific power-ups for your adventurer to help get them through the dungeon. You'll want to use your gold wisely, but also not be too stingy. Having more than 250 gold at the end won't win you any extra dungeon points, but your adventurer having a higher percentage of health will net you more dungeon points. It's all strategic. The members on the team who end up with the most dungeon points get entered to win the grand prize, and it's a big one. Alphinius will be giving out prizes throughout the stream, and not just to the team who wins the loot in each round. I really can't emphasize enough how many prizes we will be giving out during the stream. Still, there is nothing quite as awesome as being the grand prize winner, and that person will come from the winning team. And that's basically the show. Who will strike the right balance? Who will conquer all? Let's find out on the Great Gooey Dungeon Game Show!